Hello folks, how you doing? Here we are in the park. It's about 11 p.m. Well, I'm trying to get out earlier now. Well, to make sure it's possible to go to bed a bit earlier, so I can get up earlier. So, that's the whole idea, really. Yeah. Anyway, this is another Christianity Kingdom talk. Well, because that's what they all need to be now. Focused on kingdom as much as possible. There'll still be talk occasionally on other things, but trying to involve from a kingdom perspective, if at all possible. We'll see how God leads. But something I just got in the car, which was an interesting point. Speaking to God about it earlier. Well, for example, I mentioned before about training and about the fact that when I go to the gym, I do weight training for now, as in trying to lift heavy, the heaviest I can. And so my aim with shoulders is to do the equivalent, not the same, but the equivalent, never the same, but the equivalent of what Eddie Hall and Terry Wills have done with regards to shoulder press that I saw in a video where they were doing reps with their own body weight. And they were trying to see, how many reps they could do with their own body weight. See who could do the most reps. So, that's my aim. To say, right, let's see if I can do that. I'm not too far away from it. So, of course, I can't compete with them because I would have no chance. However, what I'm looking at doing is above what most people would even try to do. Most people wouldn't try to shoulder press their own body weight. So, I'm aiming higher than really, certainly as a 50-year-old, higher than most 50-year-olds would be aiming for. But that's because I don't accept those limitations that the world tries to put on me. I mean, I know from when I was younger, anyone of my age would have been counted as an old man. Would have been counted that his best days are past him. Well, I used to go to the gym years ago, from about the age of 25, I guess. I've never been able to shoulder press 40k. 80k in total. Never been able to do it. Never been able to bench press 50k dumbbells. Never been able to do it. So if I can do those, then my best days are not behind me, they're ahead. That's the aim. Because that's kingdom thinking. Kingdom thinking is, the world says, okay, you think that you can get to 10,000 meters high in what you're aiming for, okay? The world says you can get 10 meters. Kingdom says you can be 10 miles high. What are you going to be aiming for? When you were part of the world, the best you were aiming for was 10,000 meters. Now you're part of the kingdom. If you see yourself as part of the kingdom, no longer as part of the world, the 10 meters has gone. Now the least you're going to be aiming for is 10,000 meters. The most is 10 miles. Right? That's the truth of the system. God knows what you're capable of, far more than you do. Far more than you would ever understand your capabilities. You haven't got a clue what you're capable of. God does. God knows exactly what you're capable of. And if you could see your full capability of what you could do, you would be flabbergasted. Or gabberfasted. Either way, you'd be amazed. So, yes. But also, you've got to know your limitations to a certain degree. Like, for me, what do I talk about? I talk about the things that God has put on my heart to talk about. I, generally speaking, don't try and talk about the things that have not been put on my heart to talk about because I don't have understanding of that. I said the other night, with regards to global warming, last night I think I said it in that one, that for most of us, it doesn't matter. Unless God has put that on your heart to deal with, to talk about, and to find answers for, it's not an issue for you. So stop making it an issue. Just because the world makes it an issue doesn't mean it's an issue for you. Unless God has put it on you to be an issue. You know, same as all the other things. Unless God has put it on you to be an issue. Like, for example, there are many Christian things that I just don't go into that much. Well, I tried as much as I could to stay away from spiritual warfare. Because I really don't know that much about it. Over the past 6 months, I imagine, God has helped me to understand a bit more about spiritual warfare, you know, the basics of it. So therefore I've shared that. Riley, come on. He's a good boy. Well, one more thing I will say. Puddles are slightly less. Because yesterday, that puddle there was going all the way through here. And it's not today, this is dry. So that's good. We will have to turn back again now because there was a massive puddle down the road. I don't know if you remember, down this road here. Just after you get past the rise and down again. That's still going to be there. That's not going to disappear yet. That's going to take probably about 3 days of a lot less rain to be dealt with. And we're not going to have 3 days of a lot less rain. We're going to have... Well, Monday we're going to have some rain. Tuesday I think it's rain pretty much all day again. So that puddle will still be there for a while. I think tomorrow it's okay during the day, but then rainy at night. Not sure, all the other way around. But then Tuesday pretty much all day. So, yeah. We shall see. But it's okay for now. It's okay for now. So, that's where we're walking now. So, yeah, I mean, things like, what happens after you die? As in, you know, what's going to be around in 1,000 years after death? You know, whether you'll be in heaven or whether there'll be a new earth and new heavens and how long that's going to last for. I've no idea. I don't know. It's not something that God has put on me, so I don't know. I'm not concerned. I mean, to me, there are far more important things that we need to deal with right now. And they are the priority. Now, it's quite possible that, you know, with my understanding of the other stuff may actually start to come once all this stuff that needs to be dealt with now has been dealt with. But I think we're quite a way away from dealing with that stuff at this moment in time. We are quite a way away from dealing with it. So, there you go. That's the reality. Hello, Amber. Where you been? Go on in, be a good girl. Then we're trying to get food. Nutter. I had to do the beep. When I did the beep, she come back. She hears the beep and she knows that really she's a couple of chances away from being zapped. So I don't need to zap her, just beep. Or use the buzzer. That works, but I'd rather do that than have her trying to eat whatever she finds on the floor. Not knowing whatever that could be. So yeah, had a conversation. Thank God again today. It's one of those ones which is quite funny. We get these conversations on a regular basis. We do indeed. Yeah. God was saying, I won't be where I am for much longer. And I said to God, please, don't tell me that sort of stuff. I said, because your much longer is how long? He went, yeah, I know. Because we've had these conversations now, me and God, for 20 years. It's been about 15 years since I found a place. Well, not 15 years, okay, I'd say about 10 years now. Around about 10 years. I found a place that would have been quite nice. And I had the chance to go and speak to him about it. And then I heard a voice, clear voice, saying, forget that place, the place I have for you is much better. I went, okay. Okay, then I'll forget that place. And so when God then says, well, you won't be where you are for much longer. Excuse me, 10 years ago, forget that place, the place I have for you is much better. I could have taken that place. Yeah, I wouldn't have got these doggies. I would have got doggies, but not these doggies. Now, yeah, would I have the knowledge and understanding I now have? Probably not. No. That's the thing. Oh, we can go all the way down. We don't need that. Water's more or less disappeared. Wow. That is brilliant. Look at that. That whole area, basically where Amber is there, that whole area just below there was absolutely flooded yesterday. Now there's still water to the left, a little bit of water to the right, but most of the stuff in between is clear. Fantastic. We can walk all the way around. Brilliant. That's good. Hey? Ha-ha! There you go. That's a nice surprise, isn't it? I'm not going to be walking wet Ambers because that is going to be soaking wet there. Yeah. Hello, Chew. How you doing, my boy? You doing okay, Chewy? You got a bot? Yeah, at least you got a bot. Hello, Molly Collie. How you doing, Bubs? There's Riley. There's Amber. Hello, Amber. How you doing, Bubba? Good girl. Oh. Folks, look. We have, if we can get right with God, and if we can do things the way we need to do things, we have an incredible opportunity. I mean, the world is ripe for harvesting. Absolutely ripe for harvesting. You know, people have been struggling a lot, and COVID has caused a lot of problems for people. You know, where people are really in need of God. You know, COVID has in many ways brought people to that point a lot quicker. So it's still flooded down this bit, you see. But it's not too bad. I can walk on the grass to get around it, yeah. So look, yeah, as I say, we are at that point now where the possibilities are immense. What could be achieved? You know, the many millions of people that could come to God is incredible. But we need to make things right. We need to have a situation where, see, a lot of people have been walking on this. It's quite muddy already. Very muddy. I mean, next time I'm going to go on the other side because this is quite bad. Here. Yeah, I'm saying yes. We need to get things right. We need to get the church right. We need for people to come into a church that is functional. A church that is doing things in God's will and God's ways. Yeah, where people have been set free, where they come into the church, they get prayed for and they get delivered of all the rubbish that they've carried around for all those years. They get set free. They get trained, they get ministered. They get the counselling that they need. They get all of that. Amber! She's gone off over there to try and find some food. As she always does. You can just about see her collar now. There you go. See? There she comes. She's coming now. There she is. Amber, stop trying to eat food. You get food when you get indoors, you nutter. Always licking her lips. You know she's been up to no good. Without a shadow of a doubt. You know she's been up to no good. So yeah, we need to spend as much time as possible, as much time as we need, seeking God and searching God for what God wants to do with each and every church. And break up the denominations. Just break them up. Because you can't have it where you have a Baptist church that all does things the same way. Where you have thousands of churches, not just around the country, but around the world, all basically doing things the same way. And if they don't, they get kicked out of the organisation, which is probably what's going to happen. I don't know. But we need to end all that. Same as Methodist and United Reformed and C of E or whatever, Methodist, all that sort of stuff. Pentecostal, get rid of it. Get rid of these names, these barriers, these fractions that, generally speaking, get in the way rather than actually help to bring people together. We need people to be brave, to understand that, yeah, when you become a Christian, you gave your life to God, which means your life does not belong to you anymore. You need to understand, although we're in the world, we're not supposed to be of it. With those two things, we are going to have people that are brave enough to even give their lives for the cause, to help people, to set people free, to glorify God, to help people to give their lives to God. Because the point of it is, if you're willing to give your life to the service to God, then you're willing to be attacked for the service to God, right? If you're willing to be attacked, you're willing to put your head above the parapet and allow your light to shine, which is what the world needs. The world needs a light to shine in the darkness. And you have that light. We need to take the lampstands off, or the coverings off the light. We need to unblacken out the windows. Marnie, get out the way, you nutter. Take your bottle if you want it, but you keep on walking right in front of me, you dozy dog. I'm going to tread on you. She walks right in front of me because she wants to drop the bottle, so I'll kick it, or she wants me to take it off of her. It's like, I'm doing a video. Stop being rude, Molly. Molly, Cody, you take it, bub. Go on you go. Go on, Molly, on you go, bubs. On you go, then, Molly. As I say, there is a world in need. There's a world that's in darkness that wants to be... The problem is the world doesn't know it wants to be in the light. It doesn't know, but it does. That's what it needs. It needs a good, fresh load of light to come in and highlight all the stuff that's unhealthy, all the stuff that isn't good. Because at the moment, you've got in society, you've got the left and the right going down extremes. And both extremes are utterly ridiculous. You know, certainly don't believe for a second that God is in favour of either extreme, left wing or right wing. God is not in favour of either. God doesn't like either of those. That's the reality of the situation. God doesn't like either. Hates the whole lot of it. None of it is him. It's all demonic stuff designed to drive people crazy. Because the people on the right are driven crazy by the extremists of the people on the left. The people on the left are driven crazy by the extremists of the people on the right. It's it's a doolally situation, really, to say the least. Crazy. Bit of cray-cray going on there, to say the least. Yes, it's not healthy. And yeah, there needs to be a highlighting of that. There needs to be a situation where the world can balance, really. A bit of balance needs to be brought back to things. I see a programme today where it was, I think it's called Station 19. Basically, you've got Grey's Anatomy, and you've got all these other things that come along with it. Station 19, I think, is the one basically in the same city as Grey's Anatomy, because a lot of the characters are in the same programmes. But in that one, in 2 episodes, you had 2 lesbian couples, and you had a person who assumed no gender. A child. A young child, probably about 14, 15, was a binary gender, so didn't really count themselves as a boy or a girl. At 14 or 15. And this programme is pushing this rubbish. It's incredible, and that's what the left is pushing. Of course, what's the right pushing? The right's pushing that there's this conspiracy, there's this QAnon, which is basically where all of these politicians are incredibly dodgy and demonic, and doing these highly illegal, disgusting things in pizza parlours, which is just wrong. Utter nonsense, utter stupidity. So both sides have all this utter stupidity that they're pushing. It's like, okay. And it just makes the other opposite side incredibly insane when they hear what... Oh, jeez. It just keeps on going, doesn't it? It goes and it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes. Once one side gets a little bit more insane, the other side has to get a little bit more insane. Well, light is what's going to end that. The light that the Lord has given you is going to end that. If you are led and guided by the Holy Spirit as to letting your light shine, then that light will highlight those things that are hidden in the darkness, such as that the devil is behind both sides of those arguments. Both extremes are demonic. Both extremes are the devil. That's the reality of it. But light has to show that up, otherwise people won't. People need to come from those sides to God. The light really is what's going to convict people of their sins. And once people see that their behaviour is sin, they're more likely to stop behaving in that way. Now, don't think for a second that just because people see that their behaviour is sin, it means that every single person who sees their behaviour as sin is going to stop that behaviour, because they're not. Some people will just go on and just continue as they were before. So there's a lot of people who don't care about anyone else. Marley, this way. Marley, leave it. No. There's rubbish I kicked over there. Some people don't care about others. Some people don't even care about themselves. That's the reality. They just don't. They don't care. The possibility that they're going to go to hell for eternity and be made to suffer to the point of death every single day for the sins that they've committed. For the fact that God gave them a chance to get right with Him. Yeah. Some people aren't going to care about that. They're going to say, oh well. Oh well. Yeah. And what do you do when you get to face with the people like that? Nothing. Nothing you can do. You don't waste time with people like that. You don't waste your time with people who are either not going to want your help or not going to accept your help. You don't, well, they're basically the same thing, aren't they, really? Not going to want, not going to accept. You walk away. You do what the Lord said. Yeah, if you knock on a door and they don't answer, they don't welcome you in, they don't, feed you, give you a place to rest, look after you, sort of thing. When you leave, you shake the dust off your feet and you walk away. Don't try anymore. Don't ever go back. It's not a case where, I don't think it'd be a case where God's going to turn any more cities into Sodom and Gomorrah. He's not going to do that anymore. No. No, it's going to turn people into those wastelands. Yeah, the people that decide they don't want God, God's going to say, okay, I'll leave you to it. I'll leave you to the hover of the life that you have. But because you've now been convicted of your sin, you will start to experience the true horror of your life as it really is. And that's going to happen. I mean, I said before in a video that what people who don't know God don't understand is that their existence without God is absolutely horrific. They don't understand it because they're not aware. Now, the reason why it's absolutely horrific, your spirit is screaming out because your spirit knows where you're headed. Everyone has a spirit. The spirit is what is called the part of you that is life. Everyone has that. That part of you came from God. Was with God before you became alive as a child and then became alive as a adult, etc., etc. That part of you knows that it's really your soul, which is basically your emotions, your mental, your emotional, that's in charge of your life. The spirit should be in charge, but it's not. And your spirit is screaming for you to get right with God because your spirit knows where you're heading. And so when you get convicted of your sin, you start to know that reality. Because once you understand your life is sin, or what sin is, and that you have sinned, and what the consequences are of sin, and you do nothing, yeah, that's going to be bad, to say the least. Really bad. But the thing of it is that even if you've had a chance and you said no, if you're still alive, you may still have another chance. You may still have another chance. But something I'll add from another point I was talking about the other day is that in the world, there is something about being noticed. As a point about having your 5 minutes of fame. So in the world, people do videos and stuff like that. They want to be noticed. They want people to see them. They want people to notice them, pay attention to them. Just kicking that over there. In the kingdom, it's the opposite. People want to highlight God. They should. They should not want to be noticed. They shouldn't. It should always be about highlighting God. So, when you've got people who say, look at me, you've got to ask, is God behind that? Because if they're saying, look at me, unless the next sentence is, look at me, I'm here because of God. Because God did this amazing work. Yeah. The reality is, God is really what the world needs to see. The world does not need to see me, does not need to see any spirit-filled born-again Christian. Does not need to see anyone's face, anyone's body, anyone's actions. What they need to see is God. They need to see God speaking through people. They need to see God working through people. That's what they need to see. Now, once we get to the point where we become better at allowing people to see God, well, then we're in a situation where, and everybody, how you doing? But yeah, to put it this way, I wouldn't give these up for anything at all. Nothing at all. No. Absolutely beautiful. They're part of my life. Yeah, they're my family, so I wouldn't lose these for anything. Hello, Nutter. How you doing, Liz? You got a sticky? Is that a difficult sticky as it was? You turn it off, Lucy. Turn it off, Lucy. Is that a naughty sticky? Well, Molly's got a bit of it now, and Lucy wants a bit of it. Come on, this way. Two girls are playing tuggy there with a sticky. Okay, Molly got most of it. Here you go, Molly, Carly. Molly got the sticky. Lucy got a bit though, so Lucy's quite happy. She's got a bit of the sticky. Not all of it, but yeah. Oh dear. Well, I say, folks, look back. Occasionally, look back. See how far you come. Look back over the last year. See what journey you've made. Video ended there. Yeah, I was saying, yeah. Look back, see how far you come, because you'll see God work. You'll see the work that God has done in your life over the past year. You'll see the lessons you've learned. you'll see how you're different to who you were a year ago. Well, if you're Christian, if you're a spirit-filled born-again Christian, yes. If you're worldly, probably won't. You won't see very much at all. Well, you might do. Oh, you might do. I mean, it's possible God has been working in your life as well. It's possible. You know, there's no such thing as an impossibility for God, but yeah, it's more likely that you're a spirit-filled born-again Christian and you've had the desire for God to work in your life and to do what's needed so that he can use you as a vessel to glorify his name, then it's quite likely, indeed, that yeah. It is all fun and games. But as I say, when you look back, you might be surprised at what you see. Quite often, you look back and you think, well, not much has really happened, has it, over the past year? Like a lot of people are thinking, 2020 has been a really bad year. Has it? Has it really? Look back. Have a good look back at 2020. What has your 2020 really been like? You know, how have you grown in the past year? Chances are you've grown. Chances are you've learned an awful lot over the past year. And you're now a very, very different person to who you were a year ago. I can certainly say I'm a very different person to who I was a year ago. I mean, there's still lots more to do. Amber! No. See her there? Went to run over to the area to go and find food again. I noticed that. Amber, behave. Stop trying to run over there, nutter. That's naughty. Take whatever you got and stay with Daddy. Dozy doggy. Yeah. I'm going over this side this time because the other side was all muddy. So we'll go quite wide because if you go nearer to where there is, it is going to be quite mucky. So quite soggy bit of grass. So yeah, quite a nice night. It's not too bad. We're going to have more rain at some point. You can see there's a lot of cloud. Yeah. But at the moment, it's not too bad. It's not too cold. It's not raining, so it's good. Riley, come. Smiley Riley. Come on, my boy. Come on, baby. Come on, Smiley Riley. It's a good boy. Love you. Hello, Molly. Got your sticky. Good girl. Molly's still got a sticky. You're a happy girl, Molly Collie. There you go, Molly. Love you, love you, love you. Alright, she's wagging her tail. She's a happy girl, isn't she, bub? Hey, you going walkies? Yeah, good walkies for Molly Collie. Oh, yeah, you got sticky. She's a happy girl. Good. All fun and games. Yeah. It is what it is. Well, as I said at the start of this one, you know, stick to what you know. Talk mainly about what God has put on your heart because that's what you know. And put it this way, yeah, if I knew about all the stuff about what's going to be coming, yeah, what 1,000 years would be like, you know, after being saved and dying, what 1,000 years would be like, of course I'd share that because, yeah, that's going to make, you know, what you have to go through, yeah, as a human, so much easier to go through, isn't it? Because when you know what's coming, yeah, you know what heaven's going to be like. You know what you're working for, basically. It's so much easier, isn't it?